just tell people now I'm a witch. I'm just a witch. I'm trying to retire, so I'll be
No, it's already too heavy. It's way heavy lifting than regular.
I've been taking care of her for about 10 years. And about 3 years ago, she wrote a will and left me everything. Like, she's doing great. There's nothing wrong with her. She's doing fabulous. She got a vaccination. She's doing great. She worked for Exxon for 50 years. So when she dies, I get her. So I tell people, I'm going to retire someday, but I can't tell you when. I only work for I've been the rest of my time.
You ready? Okay.
And then
Hey, Laura.
okay, all right, guys, ready to start? All right.
Hi, everyone. Hello. Welcome to the Houston Beekeepers Association Happy Hour. So I am seeing so many faces that I've seen online, and I'm so glad you guys have joined us. If you joined us online, I'm Sandy. This is me, for real, not just the Zoom person. And we have our wonderful board, Laura Mullen, we have Kyle Wolf and Joe Coward here today as your board, and we're just so excited to see you guys in person. It's so wonderful. Thanks for coming out on this really rainy day. Yay! Without a mask. So we have a couple of short things today. We don't have a full program, right? But we did want to do a couple of things. Joe is going to show you one of our extractors, how to put it together. We've had lots of interest in people borrowing the extractor, so we want to show you how to put it together, how to use it. And then he's also going to share after that a new thing. So we are so excited. We're going to talk about a mentoring program that we hope to launch with the association. So Joe is also going to talk about that after he does a demonstration. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Joe.
Okay, thank you, Sandy.
Here, help me out. Thank you.
Well, you need a beer. Somebody give her a beer.
Somebody give me a
Okay,
beer.
so when you're extracting, first thing you got to do, you got to uncap your frame. So you got to get the little uncapping tank. So this is how the uncapping tank looks when you pick it up at the thing. There's this little strainer in here. There's this.
You've blocked a bunch of
There's
people.
all sorts of parts. Okay, then, so this comes out. Kind of balance it up here. All right, and that goes on the bottom, right? Now that's the bottom of your tank. You can see it's a solid tank that holds stuff. This screws in here. Do what?
Any onions there?
Well, we recommend you don't use soap, right? Because soap is like impossible to get rid of. So generally, generally just wash this with water, hot water, and before you wash with hot water, just put it out in your yard and let the bees get after it because they'll almost finish cleaning it up.
Do you want to use my frame as for an example?
We'll get there in a second. Yeah, I will.
My bees are like 100 miles away from me,
Yeah.
so I expect to be extracting without bees.
Well,
Do
okay.
I call
So
somebody from the club and say,
no, don't worry about that. Just put it out in the yard and see what happens because you might be surprised there might be bees in your neighborhood.
I'm sure there is.
Okay, so while that thing fits all compact, this thing goes in top, and this little wire thing goes here. That catches your wax. And then you've got this weird piece of wood. It's got a little nail on top of it, and these two little weird looking clamp things. What they do is it sits across the middle, or wherever you want to put it in here, depending on how you like to work. And you basically screw this on. This. I always put it in the middle, but that's just me. I don't know why. Then, when you're uncapping your frames, you basically put your frame up there. Then you can take your knife, slice off the top of the capping. That falls into here. Spin around, slice that up, it falls into here. Then you're ready to move this over and put it in the extractor. Then all the cappings are down here with honey in them. And what happens is, right, you've got this bucket underneath, and the honey drains out, and over time, you kind of stir those cappings around. I use a fork, not my fingers, it's a big mess. Stir it around, and then you can catch the honey and drain out this into your bucket and gather with the rest of it, right? So, that's that. Then to put it back together, this all fits really small and travel. Oh yeah, that's right. Thank you, Kissy. So, when you're going into your bucket, we have this strainer system. It's not a filter per se. So it's like a coarse mesh, right? Colander and a finer mesh colander. You put the coarse mesh in. This fits right on your 5-gallon bucket, which I didn't bring. But you put that on there and drain through that, and that'll catch all the bee parts and the wax and stuff. So it keeps your honey pretty clean. Cleaner. Yeah. Stop
Fiber.
A hot knife, if you want the hot knife, it's available, yes. Okay, so put back apart, you out of the way, so I bring you.
Uncapping.
A regular knife works great too. I'm also some people use a hot gun to just melt the outside of the
I tried that.
Heat gun?
Or Ray tried that. I have a heat gun. And what happens is it does melt. And as you go down the rest of the frame, it's reforming. It's re-waxing. It didn't work. I saw that on YouTube, but I tried it, so I got a heat gun. It re-waxed so good.
Actually, small box. Okay, now,
And if
the
you
actual
hold it on
extractor.
too long, you like bump up the honey.
So this is the basic extractor.
So,
Yes,
yeah,
we
no,
just
that doesn't work.
Here we go.
is when you're at home doing this, there won't be anyone around who wants to help you.
And it's not an ice cream.
How much does it weigh? Around for what?
Honey, come over here and help.
How much? It's not that heavy, it's just big and bulky.
It's just kind of,
Yay!
okay, so, great, Hank's got it already put together. He left it all together.
You're not gonna get it all together.
It won't show up like this.
Oh, we have a storage unit off of 610 and Ella. Okay, and so we have 3 different extractors and a bunch of other
All right, so
like
you get
odds
this,
and
there's going to be a
ends.
bag of stuff.
There's a YouTube video.
Bag of parts.
They're actually it's a video on our website on how to put it together. But we'll have this.
Hank is so efficient. Because you can't check if it's clean if you don't put the part first.
So I'm like,
Hank lets it all together. But the reality is, you got to take it apart and make sure it's clean.
And again, just
Because again, just one of our members borrowed this, so yeah, hot water will clean this. And bees.
Did you like the bees?
And I'm standing.
This is the spindle. This is the spindle that holds the
I
frames.
was like, is somebody calling my name? I was like, no.
This handle has a one-way. It has a one-way spinner on it, so it only can spin one direction. Then it slips the other. Spins one way, slips the other. So If that little bearing in there ever gets loose in the aluminum, you got to order a whole new handle with the bearing pressed in. Trust me, I had to do it.
So don't take those two apart.
You don't take that apart.
Okay.
This piece is very important. It goes to the bottom of this little bucket. Right? This is the bearing at the bottom of the spindle. Spindle into this bearing.
I don't get anywhere.
You won't be able to spin it fast enough to get money out. Make sure that's in there. This sets on top of the here. Line up. Hold there.
Oh no, I'm saying if you're in a
Got two holes right here. Got a lot of holes here and here. There's a third hole here that just needs to be. After there.
Unless you're going to take care of some sort of step ladder. But he's got to be high. He's got to set it up high enough that you can
Goes in.
come down and back it up.
and the stand does that. The stand is not. We're just doing this demonstration.
Line up these bolts.
Yeah. No, the stand is there to keep it up enough so that your bucket can fit
You see one of these bolts? You see this bolt? It's a little bent screw. Got a washer on it. It goes through. And then it goes up. Into there.
There's a blackberry one too. Right now they're doing blackberry cookies. I've been
And number 3.
I think 2 years in a row. I still have a bag of frozen ones.
Leave those. Thank you.
But they're great fresh. Well, I'll go again this summer and just have to figure out.
I got a lot of blackberries later. I just planted my blueberries. I got
And
four.
with 2 blueberries, if we're going to do one for
This is the tricky part.
Blueberry bushes right now.
Always a pain in the neck.
Yes, so you use the nut to make it right. And the nut so it goes up so then you can put a nut on it.
so much high that it's.
What part of town are you standing on? Where did you work? You recently moved out
We
to
said we
Montgomery.
have so much more lower.
Okay, I'm like,
Because that's what happens.
What you need to do is you need to have a couple bushes in the back and a couple bushes in the front, and then the back bush, the first one about to get to.
no, wait a minute. You might be raising more. Yes, sorry. I'm like, oh, right here. I bet you had a lot of property. Yes. So how many? Right now, just 6. But yes, just 6. But we have a business, so we have 150 dollars.
And then,
I love it. It's been good. We're excited because we have more room.
Did I mention this is a pain in the neck? Okay, now,
I don't like snakes at all.
you kind of got it together. You've got 3
I like
bent screws holding
We
this
had a
on.
snake with this.
But it's not actually attached to this bottom base, which it needs to be attached to. So now, you go into your magic bucket of junk.
Yep.
And you find that.
Find a chain. All right.
That keeps it from falling off.
That
I
is
learned
over
that the
there.
hard way.
You find the other one.
Backup chain.
Now,
Is that
keep
the
in mind,
ocean? Oh,
I did not try this before this meeting, so I don't know if all the parts are in here or not. And that's part of the challenge. So we've got 2 bolts, looks like. Okay, so our last guy to rent it, Hank Hilliard. Thank you, Hank, for replacing these bolts.
Oh, nice.
He made these with the big flat wing nuts. So we've got, there's a nut and there's a lock nut. Take that apart.
You don't have to do all of them.
We get it.
Well, it's only taking a second. I'm gonna start. Do that. It's got to be pretty tight. These have to be on top. They have to be pretty tight.
If it's not, things go black.
The other side. Second. Yeah, I'll get that in a second.
Yes, yes, you are. He's far away. He's in OCD. He can also set up a first birthday garage, set up the table. That's actually probably going to be nasty. Instead of a big black and not just on the table, they can. And I know it's also thought.
Okay.
Garbage bags.
It's now put together. It's not as tight as it should be. Actually, it'll take me a few more minutes to get all the way tight. So now to use this darn thing, you open this up, look down inside there, check number one thing. Is the spindle in the bearing? Right. Yes, I did leave it in there. I have screwed up before and not have it in there and try to spin it. She don't work. Now, if you're like me and most other people, you harvest with these regular super sizes.
Will it fit a deep?
I'm going to check that in a second.
Okay.
And if this one doesn't,
So these go in so that the top of the frame's on the outside. And you put them in, there's a little hook, you put this in,
Is this like a radio one?
I think this is right.
goes in there. You put in either 3 or 6. You don't put in 2, you don't put in 1,
5.
you don't put in
It needs
5.
to be balanced.
Because it's a
Look
centrifuge,
at there's a rainbow.
it's got to be balanced.
Straight ahead, look. Oh, yay!
Anything less than balanced, you're going to have a nightmare on it.
Nice.
They all have to be full when you start.
They all need to be similar fullness. They don't have to
Joe, let me get a
correct. That's correct.
let me get a close up, Joe. Let me get a close up of how you.
Okay. Can you get in there?
Yeah.
So that's 3 in there.
All right. Thank you.
Easy to make it 6.
At what point does it make sense?
So you got a picture. These all have honey on them.
Yeah, so it's clearly not two. Clearly not two. Yeah, you're probably, if you had 6
While you're doing this, you're getting honey all over your hands. It's a mess because you've already cut the caps off the top of the honey when you're using that box over there. So it's dripping everywhere. So I recommend having like put down some kind of cloth or something so you don't have to clean up as much of your garage floor.
Painter's tarts
Then
at Home Depot.
the fun
Big
part,
and thin and
you grab this handle and you spin it like a magnet.
And then you spin it over and over and over.
for how
Get that
long?
honey to spin off.
For how long?
Until the honey is off the.
I could see that coming. I'm your straight line person here.
I usually wind up sweating pretty good doing this. And what I do, when we extract our honey, we wait until it's dark outside and our bees have all gone home.
Really?
Then we take this thing in the garage and you can be wide open then and work on it
Oh.
and not have to worry. But if you do it like it, if you go get your frames at 2 in the afternoon, set this up and get ready to go at 4 and go to extract at 5. By 5:15, you've got about 10 million bees like helping. They're just ready to help. So you don't want to do that. So do it at night and they don't bother you. Unless if you got a room you can go into and close it off and the bees can't get in, fine. But if you're in your kitchen, you can do that. But I mean, it's just full wood base, so you got to keep that in mind.
Speaking of that, about leaving the uncapping tank out in the yard to clean it, if you have a small backyard, maybe just wash it.
Yeah.
It gets a little crazy sometimes.
Right, real crazy. Let me see if this is big.
Mine have to go on the outside. I think that's the radial one.
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna
Fit it.
This isn't set up to hold it big.
Or did yours have which way is the one in your car set up?
Christine, you can look. I don't see how you're gonna get a big one.
Yeah. I thought one of the 6 frames
I
worked.
think the 4-frame extractor might fit.
Yeah, the four frame we have, I think, holds the bigs.
Okay. I think
Or mediums or that size.
yours didn't work either.
Maybe
Yeah.
Okay.
One horizontal and one radial.
That's it.
That's radial.
This is a
You didn't
radio.
also-
Yeah, but if it's a three-pair, how do you do that?
Okay.
And any questions? So anyway, try to bring back all the parts. After you check this out, try to return all the parts.
take that to
I got
the
it checked out for somebody one time. That bottom
You don't
bearing
have
was
to.
Is there
missing.
another one?
Oh yeah.
Chris and I got all our stuff ready to go to extract the honey.
You know,
It's
why
like,
don't you wait until we go to the
something's
floor
wrong.
frame?
I can't. There's no way it'll spin. So I realized, like, oh, the bottom
That'll be
bearing is
easier.
missing. So we had to find the people to get the bottom bearing
Sorry,
back.
that would work.
I had this bearing broken one time.
One of them I thought worked.
I remember when I got the wrong one.
That's
Yes,
it.
I can't wait.
The-
And there was no way those were.
What about the mentor program?
I bought
I'll get there in a
Not one of
minute.
the 6 frame ones.
400 micron.
Let's take a break.